Hello, it's Holy Thursday and I'm so glad that you came to join me again. You know what? We're going to make bread one more time in case tonight you want to have communion with your family, because that is exactly what Jesus did on that Thursday evening with his disciples. That was the Last Supper, which we talked about last week. So I'm back again, just in case you might have forgot how to do bread. Let's do it together one more time. All right, so let's get our ingredients together. But first, remember, we got to wash our hands. So I've got a wipe here, sanitizing wipe, and we'll get everything washed real good, get our hands washed real good. If you're at your house, run to that sink, soap and water. Oh yeah, get those hands washed up real good, lots of bubbles, a good rinse and dry, and we are going to be good to go. Okay, so I think I got them good and sanitized. We are going to take out our flour, which remember it's 1 cup of flour, and it's 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And I went ahead and mixed this at my home when I was there earlier. So I'm going to dump this in my bowl. 1 cup, remember, flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Here we go. Okay. The next thing we're going to need is oil. You can use vegetable oil, olive oil, whatever type of oil you have at your home will work great. It does not matter. Now listen, it's 1/3 of a cup, but remember we talked about that. It's a scant 1/3 of a cup. What does scant mean? Not full. So do not fill this 1/3 cup full. You don't need it. So just a scant cup of oil. So I've left some edge at the top. It's bare. Dump that in, and remember about the lids. We have got to get those on really well. I have spilled oil. You would go ice skating in your kitchen. It's no good. Okay, lids on tight. We're good to go. The next thing we need is water. Again, it's still another 1/3 of a cup, so you don't have to switch your cups out. Remember though, when we use our water, it's another scant cup. What does scant mean? Right, not full. So I'm going to pour some water in here. I can still see quite a bit of ledge. Dump that in. Okay, lid's on tight. All right, now, the recipe says to use a pastry blender, but I don't have one. A fork will work really great. So grab your forks if you have one handy. And we're just going to stir all this up real quick. And you'll see it just starts forming into like a dough. Just stir it up. You can see I'm stirring all this up real good. Get all those flour particles mixed into your water and your oil. All right, this is the fun part. Remember, this is a really great reason to have super duper clean hands. Because I'm going to use my hands, scrape that off, and then, yes, we get to make our dough into a ball. This is really great. A little squishy, kind of fun. This is a great family activity. All right, so I've made my dough ball right here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll it out. So you will need your rolling pin. All right, so I'm going to move my bowl over to the side a little bit here. And I've got my, well, I'm going to put it over here. How about that? I got more room over there. All right, rolling pins. Here we go. We are going to just roll this out. I'm going to maybe push it down a little bit with my hand. I got a little circle going on. And I'm going to roll this dough out here. Now, one thing about this is there's no yeast in it. And that refers back to the Old Testament when Moses was taking the Israelites out of Egypt. And he said, get your stuff ready, get your food and all. So they had bread, or getting their bread made, and they did not put any yeast in it because yeast takes time. You have to let it sit, it will rise, punch it down. And so this is what we call unleavened bread because there is no yeast in it. And so this is what that communion bread is all about. Okay, so I roll it out into a pretty good little shape here, kind of a rectangle, but not perfect, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to carefully, I'm going to pull my pan closer. In fact, I'm just going to pull this up. I did take this down the time because last time, if you remember, it slid. Duct tape works wonders. So we're going to go ahead and pull this off. It just comes off very easily. And I'm going to place that onto my pan. Just lay it out. It will not hurt it. It's pretty flexible. I put parchment paper down on my baking sheet. You don't have to, but if you have it, go ahead and try it out. Works really well. You're just going to spread your bread out there on your baking sheet. All right, just like that. and just kind of pat it together. If you have a little hole form, it's okay. It'll pat right back together. It's no big deal, okay? Works out great. Just pat it the way you want it into your pan. And then when you get it the way you want it, which I patted mine out just like that, then you need to bake it in your oven on 425 degrees, okay? Make sure that you have somebody help you with that. We don't want anybody to get burnt. You need to have an adult, your parents, or whoever you're with, staying with for the day. If you're making this together, have an adult get your oven to 425 for you and put it in the oven for you. When you get it in the oven, set your timer. We don't want burnt bread. Okay, so 8 to 10 minutes on 425, and it does need to get a little bit golden, not brown. We don't want to burn it, but get a little bit golden around the edges, and it may bubble up a little bit. That's fine if it does. When your bread is done, get help taking it out, and then I would just use a pizza cutter and cut your bread in just strips the way you want it. However, little pieces or little squares, whatever you want that day. When you get ready to take communion, that way you can just cut it and then place it on your napkin or whatever you're going to use. And another little tip that I like to do when we have communion at our house, I think almost everybody has those little bitty medicine cups. You know, if you bought ibuprofen for your children, Tylenol, whatever, allergy medicine, it's all there. Those little medicine cups, we have quite a collection of those. Get those out. That's perfect for your juice. You got your little squares and you're ready for communion. Remember, Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me. It's a great opportunity to remember the covenant blessings that we have because of what Jesus did for us, the Lamb of God. I hope you do this on Holy Thursday. I'll be back with you tomorrow on Good Friday. Don't miss this. I'm so excited to talk with you again. Have a great day.